Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Like two guys faking a book report. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss an interesting way to battle an aging population, a terrible roommate, and a new device to help you be safe during romantic situations. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the guy who doesn't know what it's called when you're making a baby. It's Dick. I saw a gerbil in the grocery store. Schisler. And he just left the gerbil alone, too.
Yeah, not my problem.
Other Richards would have done other things, but not this guy. Not this guy.
I actually have a lot of moments in my life where I'm like, not my problem.
Not my monkey, not my circus, right?
Yeah, not my problem. You know, you say the book report thing.
You ever faked a book report?
Oh, yeah. You got me thinking how terrible it's got to be for teachers who are doing, like, what is it, like, when you're doing, like, Huckleberry Finn book reports. Mm-hmm. And no one reads it. They just read the Cliff Notes.
Sure.
And then they have to write the 6-page paper or whatever.
You got to listen to the same book report over and over and over
again.
again.
And then you got to read each and every one.
Unless it's an oral. We used to do oral book reports.
Really?
Where you would sit down and, and you'd give
That's probably when you're younger. But
this is ninth grade, man.
Oh, okay. That's probably because it's quicker.
Yeah. Because I think this teacher only had so much time.
Yeah. Well, I
read all this stuff.
If there's a teacher who's a onesie out there, let us know how that really feels at Audience of One Show.
Yeah, how much are you actually reading the book reports? I think they look for, especially if it's one book, right? And it's the same book over and over for every student. They look for key things. And if they're leaving out those key things, they're like, you didn't read the book, did you?
Were you in the generation of Cliff Notes?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They were out there.
So, like, all my older brothers and sisters, my mom kept the Cliff Note books for them because she already knew them, like, they weren't going to read the books. And I remember getting one of them, and the book, I forgot what book it was, but it was been updated. But the Cliff Note version was from, like, the 80s. So it was one of those awkward moments. And then I remember the teacher's like, did you read the Cliff Notes? I'm like, well, I read something. You know, I'm not going to.
Is the cover yellow? Because that's the one I read.
You never incriminate yourself. You just say, well, I read something.
Yeah. No, I read.
I read something.
I read.
And it had the same title.
I think a lot of times, too, they know what's in those Cliff Notes, so they will ask questions specifically outside of the Cliff Notes version. But then
you're also dealing with literature that's been around for so long. So it's going to be very unique if one of these 10th graders comes up with a whole new, unique thought.
AI is going to take care of all of it anyways, man.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Generate a book report.
Because, that gets, this is kind of like a lateral movement, but you know how, like, kids are streaming these days?
I've heard of it.
And they're, like, some kids are making money, and it's kind of like the kids who do the review. You ever seen how much money that one kid makes reviewing toys?
No, I'm
on
not
YouTube?
aware.
I think he was making at one point, like, I think $1 million to $2 million a year, or the channel was, and he's the main person,
right?
So the parents are clearly making him do it, but it's like, hey, what do you think of this Spider-Man toy? Oh, let me show you how cool it is, and I'm thinking, like, what would happen if, like, you go to school and your kid's buddy is one of those kids, and they're just like millionaires.
It would definitely be.
Like, would it bother you that if they weren't going to school anymore? It's like, oh, Timmy's not going anymore.
Doesn't need to. He's got FU money in his own island now.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
This week I'll be reviewing the new Star Wars action figure from my yacht.
Well, because my nephew actually he found our show, and because I think it was like my sister on her phone, I was sending her some stuff about Audience of One, and so he watched it. So he comes up to me, and I want to say he's 13, and he's like, "Hey, you have a YouTube channel?"
Yeah.
I want a YouTube channel. Show me how to do it. And I'm like, I'm not putting you on YouTube, dude. I don't trust what a 13-year-old's going to be putting on YouTube, especially if the creepo's going to watch it.
Yeah, especially since in like 1 week he'll have dominating numbers over anything that we can produce.
But it's one of those weird things that's what kids are wanting to do today.
Yeah, man. I want to be an influencer, dog.
Yeah, I want to be an influencer. And I'm thinking to myself, but I don't see a problem with that in a weird way. Because it's like, if my kid was highly successful on like Fortnite, who am I to say, like, he's making money?
That's your dream child
What,
right there,
what
man.
am I like? I'm like, no, don't make money.
Yeah, I mean, if they're making cash, it's hard to say go pick up your room and go to
I
school and
make
do
more
your
money
homework.
than you, Dad.
Because if you don't, you're never going to get smart, never going to get a job, and never earn
Well, it's
money. When
kinda
he's
like-
earning more money in a week than you'll earn in a
Yeah,
lifetime.
well, it's kind of like having those childhood actors.
It's similar, yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, man, I was a janitor, but my son now is in Home Alone 2. Like, what do? You're like, I'm just going to ride these coattails, baby.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of wild to me. Because no one really judges those parents that badly.
No.
But they're clearly letting this kid not live a normal life. Like, they're actually probably encouraging it.
Yeah. What was the thing that Britney Spears' dad? Conservatorship. That's what.
Well, it's
You'll
also-
need to have a conservatorship for
But
your
no,
child.
that's because I think she actually had, like, an unstable moment.
Yes, I agree. But I'm saying
So-
you would just have to say, oh, we need a conservatorship, man. We got to get,
And I just make my kid crazy?
or just a way to get into his cash.
That'd be-
Daddy knows best.
Wouldn't that be, like, I would feel so weird if I'm at a dinner party and I'm like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I live off my son.
Really? How old is he? A doctor, a lawyer, successful entrepreneur? No, he's a 13-year-old gamer.
He's a 13-year-old gamer.
I have noticed, by the way, if you say someone is an entrepreneur, that means they probably own a business that you've never heard of. But if you say he's the founder of, that's usually a big business.
Well,
Just
it's
a
also
thought.
kind of like with the station here. I like to say, like, oh, I'm a manager at Lone Star Community Radio.
The founder.
But I don't say founder.
You should say founder.
I don't want
It's
to say
much more
founder.
dope.
If the girl's hot, yeah, I'll say that.
You could say the
But-
director of.
But if it's like, if it's just a normal person, I want them to come into the studio, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm the brainchild. I'm the puppet master of Lone Star.
talking to my microphone.
Yeah. No, I'd rather, to me, it's more inviting if I just say manager. It's like, oh, so he knows enough. So I'm like, that's all we need to get.
Well,
get to-
and you keep the expectations low that way.
but if it's an
because
attractive
they're like, oh, he
woman-
just manages it. There's no way he could have owned this thing. That makes more sense.
Oh, yeah. I love
After
it.
talking with
Well,
you for a few minutes.
Especially when I first started it, I was like 26.
Mm-hmm.
And no one believed me because I looked like I was 20.
Speaking of looking like you're 20, you
I
got
do.
your hair cut.
Yeah.
You know, and you do look significantly younger.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
I was afraid. I was thinking about shaving too. And then it'll get even crazier.
I feel like you cut your hair a lot like people who lived in the Middle Ages took baths. Just really infrequently when
Oh,
they
yeah.
absolutely have to.
Well, it disarms people. And that's what I like about it. That's why I like to look homeless. Because when it's something that really matters happens and I get like cleaned up, like, oh, you're attractive and you're not as unpleasant to be around.
Speaking of homeless, guess what I saw the other day? I saw a homeless guy, which happens every now and again, but he also had the dog with him. You ever seen the homeless guy with
Oh,
the
yeah.
dog? Yeah. And I feel like those guys probably get a little bit more cash given to them because people feel sorry for the dog.
I don't know why.
Well, then it got me thinking, what if you could like rent out your dog, your Freddie, to a homeless guy,
Freddie would go nuts.
and then you can collect like a certain percentage of what that guy gets while he's got your dog with him? See, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, but are you going to believe what that homeless guy tells you what he made? Hell no.
Whatever.
He'd be like, oh, I did $10. I'm like, yeah, right. My,
Well,
dog's,
that's-
my dog is the greatest dog.
that's $5 more than what you had before.
That's true, but I would never. I don't.
Well, I'm thinking I'm thinking
I don't
I'm going to
trust
open
Freddie. I don't trust Freddie for the life of me. So, especially like what I love about my dog is my dog's very smart, but not smart enough to not do something been told no. She'll do it again within like an hour. My favorite one right now, what she does is we have a cat that's really old, and it has that not liquid cat, but like the canned cat food.
this. Liquid cat.
Well, I call it liquid cat.
Oh,
food.
you're talking about the soft stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we mix it up and we do that, right? Mm-hmm. But there's the can, and somehow she always gets the can. I don't know. I put it in the trash can. I put it up here, but sometimes I find cans, and now.
So she's digging through your trash.
Well, she's like climbing on stuff. My dog. I don't know how she's getting this can. Because now I just started taking the can and going to the trash can outside and putting it in there. Because I'm like, I find these cans in hidden spots. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, my dog is smart enough to get them, lick them clean, and then store them under, like, the bed or store like, out of sight.
Nothing happening here.
Yeah, it is the wildest thing. Because I was cleaning my room the other day, and you know the, like, skirt that goes around your bed? Some beds have those skirts. Mm-hmm. Well, I was like, man, these are getting filthy because the dog. So I took it off, and I finally looked under the bed, and there was like 9 cans down there under the bed, and I was
Little
like,
Freddie.
and I'm sitting there going like, what the hell is this? And then I look at Freddie, and Freddie looks at me, and she does the whole like,
Sup?
well,
You ever thought about, speaking of trash?
she knew she was.
Oh, she knew she screwed up.
But it's like,
speaking of trash, have you ever thought about when you put in a fresh bag of trash into the trash can, the first item you put in that trash is what's going to be in that bag the longest before you take the trash out.
that's
the
not that
next
big
time.
of a deal to me.
But have you ever thought of it? Because if it's like a piece of paper, who cares? But if it's a fresh bag and you're putting like chicken in there, oh, you gotta be careful.
You're talking about you're talking to a guy who found a hot pocket
in his trunk
that's probably been there for like 2 years.
You're not concerned then. Basically, what I'm saying.
To me, I'm not like. Well,
I don't know. I just figure like every time I put a fresh bag in, and I put that first item in, I'm like, that thing's gonna be in there for a couple of days before he goes outside.
Well, it depends on what I'm like. If I'm cooking a rotisserie chicken, I'm gonna put that chicken in its own bag and take it to the trash can.
Straight there. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm
eliminate the middleman.
barbecuing anything I'm barbecuing with goes straight into a bag itself.
That's where that possum's coming from.
Because it's also my dog can open the door and get the trash can, so it's like.
Your Freddie knows all kinds of tricks. I do think you need to loan her out to the homeless guy.
Well,
make an agreement. Look, they don't know.
Her and her sister know how to do. Her sister knows how to open doors. So them together is very dangerous.
That's a trick right there. That's worth extra cash.
Freddie's the one that works out because it's my dog, so she can jump on counters. But the fat dog knows how to open doors. And it's like watching them together. I'm like, they're two peas in the pod, but then it's like, but they're criminals. They're too smart.
Yeah. Too smart for their own good. Well, are you happy with your haircut? Do you like your appearance?
It's all right.
It's okay. Well, you still didn't do the gin, though. I wanted you to do the Aniston. I know you definitely look younger, but I was just wondering if, because I know I've had long hair before.
Honestly, with haircuts,
and after you cut it, you're like,
I don't know about
shocking.
you, but it's like when I get a haircut,
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly care for the haircut they gave me. So when
gotta let it grow out.
When I get home, I'll comb it and like actually do something with it. Like when the girl who I've been with for a long time, great friend of mine, I just told her to do whatever she thinks she looks good. I don't care because I'm gonna look good or bad regardless. Like everyone. So now I'm gonna get younger chicks because I look younger, right?
Yeah, you look great. Yeah, I feel like my looks. I'm like the bargain bin in terms of looks. Like maybe a shirt that you would buy at Marshall's, but. You're thinking, well, hey, it's a pretty good shirt for the price, and if I accessorize it the right way, it might actually look like I paid full price.
Well, it's because we're all shallow people.
Yeah, I'm the Marshalls.
Like if you wear like a hemmed shirt and certain women notice that, you're golden because like you're wearing a hemmed shirt. But then like if you're wearing like Levi
hemmed or Hims,
whatever for Hims, blue chew. But no, I mean it's whatever. I'm glad to go visit her. I did a power move.
Okay.
Because I know her husband. I've known her husband for a while. And so I got him some sausages from the new meat market. And what was great was, I guess, while she was cutting my hair, she texted him, like, hey, we have some sausages. And he came home and, like, he immediately found the sausages. Like, these are awesome. And then I, like, in the middle of the haircut, I was like.
You bartered for your haircut is what it was.
Well, you know what? She didn't ask for a tip.
Okay.
So I have a feeling
partial barter.
That's what was weird to me. I was wondering. I just did it because I thought of him because we've hung out together and he likes to barbecue. So I was like, he needs to try these sausages because they're wild. Like today, they're making Frito pie sausage. What the hell is that? General Tso's.
Or so's, yeah. Whatever.
Or so he said so, and I was like, no.
But it begins with a T. You're not going to fool me.
I'm a Texan, but I got him wood fire pizza, which is delicious. Like it tastes like a pizza almost. It's really crazy. And then I got him Alfredo pork sausage. It has like pockets of Alfredo sauce.
Look at you dealing in food. Well, this was an interesting week, man. We had
an
Halloween. Election.
We had Halloween.
That was last week. Way to stay up on things. No, we had an election this week, Dick. Yes, and of course, if your guy
we didn't record a show before Halloween night. I went out and went to. I went to a costume contest.
Yeah, it was the day before I think we recorded.
Yeah, I went to a costume contest.
Covered it all last segment. Then.
I didn't tell you about Earl Campbell.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So I went to a costume contest, and there was probably about like 30 people in it. Mm-hmm. The final top two people had to do a dance off. So I'm sitting there watching these two people act ridiculous, and all of a sudden this guy was hammered or on drugs.
Oh, so this wasn't the special needs costume contest.
Oh no.
That's what I thought you were referring
to. This is the adult me going out.
Wait a minute, this guy was hammered?
No, it's like I'm sitting there watching these.
What kind of place are they running?
It was a woman who dressed like a keg and a woman who was a stay-at-home mom. And they were dancing, facing off. And all of a sudden, Earl Campbell, totally hammered, comes in the middle of them and starts pointing at their faces and stuff. And the DJ is like, "You got to get off, sir." And he's just like,
"You know who I am? I'm a legend around here."
He was just dancing. He was floating dancing. I think he was on like uppers. I think he was on like pills.
No, I was talking about the election that just happened this week. And of course, if your guy won, you're happy, and if your gal didn't, you're sad. And we're not going to talk about politics here, but I did want to bring one story up that I think is pretty darn funny. In today's day and age where you have internet search engines such as Google, what's neat about it is you can tell what trending topics are happening at the moment, right? Yeah. And generally where. Well, wouldn't you know, Election Day seemed to have called some members from the American electorate out of their hibernation because Google Trends showed a spiking search interest in the U.S. for the query, "Did Joe Biden drop out?" And this wasn't in July. That was this week. People were Googling, "Is Joe Biden even running?"
I believe it. I honestly believe that.
Good God. It surged to its highest peak on Tuesdays as voters took to the polls to pick between Trump and Harris.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that like flies by in time. Like I still don't even know the answer to this question. You know how a lot of people were complaining that the Kamala didn't run unopposed or something. They didn't have like a primary.
Yes, did not have a primary.
But I feel like Donald Trump didn't go through a primary.
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes.
See, I missed that. Because when people kept saying Kamala didn't.
It wasn't much of a primary.
And I was like, I don't remember seeing anything about Trump either. Like,
yeah, no,
did no one show up?
No, he just destroyed, that's all. He was getting like 80 and 90% in most of the states.
But they didn't like have a show of it. He like no one was on podiums yelling at each other.
Yeah, so there were debates. He didn't do them, though. He skipped them. He's like, I don't need that.
Oh.
Well.
See, I missed that.
Yeah, not too up on things I see.
Well, I just don't care. Like that kind of stuff. That I don't care about that.
No kidding. You don't say.
But then I care enough to go, wait a second. Why are people complaining about this? I'm pretty sure the other side did the exact same thing. Because it's just a club. We're not in it.
It's a special club that we're not a part of. Dick, go ahead and kick off the show, buddy. We're going to start off with a banger because this is truly an audience of one headline. A village in Japan is replacing young people with puppets. This is hilarious, and I want you to show the picture of this Japanese town, but turned into a ghost town by Japan's declining birth rates. The residents of Ichiniyoro have created a population of puppets to make them feel less lonely. This is the creepiest, craziest thing I have seen in a while. And these pictures...
See, this is another one that I could see be misinterpreted. I bet like some artist is like, I'm lonely, I'm going to make these puppets. And then someone's like, why did you make these puppets? Because we're all lonely here.
Well, Japan has the highest population of over 65-year-olds in the world, as the overall population has been declining steadily for 15 years. As a result, there are now more than 60 people living in this small town, most of whom are at retirement age. So in an effort to address feelings of loneliness...
Oh, my gosh. So it's like a retirement home. How about that?
Well, it's just a tiny city, but they went through the trouble of putting these creepy as hell statues of people in different poses.
I think it's great.
It says the puppets can be seen all over the village, lending it an eerie folk horror atmosphere. There's a little girl with a solemn expression swinging on a wooden swing.
See, I don't see, I have that. Where are these
While
pictures?
next to her is a young puppet boy who stands on a scooter with a wide grin.
Where are these pictures, dude? Like, I only have that one. Oh, here they are. Yeah. I'm an idiot. There we go.
It's pretty wild, man.
See, what I like about this kind of stuff is
like Amityville Horror.
Well, there's certain towns that individual artists will do this because they're they're artists. They're
motivated. The townspeople, though.
But I feel like that's the story. Is someone made these like, oh, I like those. Keep doing that, and no one ever said no. And then like 10 years from now, there's a new administration. They're like, this is creepy. Take them all down.
Well, I feel like this act, the act of putting puppets out in your town, is not going to attract young people back to your. It's not going to attract young people back to your cities. What I'm saying.
That one's creepy.
Yes, it's all creepy, man.
Let's see what else. That's kind of cool, I guess, because that's someone's house.
If there is anybody under the age of 60, trust me, they're running now, fleeing. Good God.
I like it.
It says, well, it seems incredible that this approach is intended to make the village less depressing. It does seem to provide some comfort for the residents. I'm just wondering if other parts of the world that are experiencing decline will take the same course of action.
If I went to this town and had no idea about this...
Oh, you take one of them as your wife.
Well, yeah, I need a sleeping buddy. If I saw this... and I started seeing the pattern of it, I would definitely think something happened during the war here. I'd be like, some crazy stuff. Like all these people died, and this is kind of like a thing to remember.
After the second bomb went off, is that what you're talking about?
Well, it could be. I don't know. But that's what I would think. I go, what happened to this town? Did someone just kill all the kids? Or
no, what you would do is you'd roll through there at about 2 a.m. and put them in precarious poses. One in like a group sesh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Food to table.
Yeah.
Or farm to table. Food to table. What an idiot.
You would have them doing all kinds of inappropriate things, and the elderly people in Japan would wake up the next morning and go, oh my God, the horror, clutching their pearls.
I'd probably get arrested immediately for that. No, I think it's kind of neat. I like it.
It's so sad, man.
It is kind of sad.
Well, what's funny now is if you had a town like this with young people, they'd put like robots. But these are old people, and we don't like robots. Give us the traditional dolls.
Well, because you can tell it's not the same artists because they're all a little different.
Oh yeah, no, it's done by the whole townspeople. Some of them are like cloth. Some of them have like plastic heads.
Oh.
Well, that one's just riding a bike.
That's probably my favorite one. We got E.T. over here.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So weird.
I like it, dude. What's wrong with that?
Oh, man. The next story, this is great. The Sherwood Police Department in Sherwood, Oregon, surprised some members of the community last week when they announced Hide and Seek with a Cop, a modified game of tag billed as an interactive community event in which children 12 and up, as well as adults, do their best to outrun armed police officers.
I love it.
What could go wrong?
I actually did that with my cousin.
Because he's a police officer?
Well, my uncle was, and they needed hostages for like training exercises for SWAT.
Uh-huh.
And so we hid in a bathroom. We had to hide in like one of the bathrooms in the facility, and the SWAT officers had to find us. And it was.
I bet he did, didn't he?
Well, one of them did, and they got shot.
Okay,
so.
But see, this is what is different about this one.
We had little paint guns.
Yeah, this is live ammunition. This is they're armed. What could possibly go wrong here, man? So you know how they do community events with police officers from time to time. You know, hey, play basketball with the police officers, eat lunch with the officers. So I guess someone thought this would be a good idea to
Why do you keep
hide
saying
and seek.
Armed? It's not like they're pulling their guns out and saying tag. Got
the story
you.
says that do their best to outrun armed police officers.
What are officers not armed?
Exactly. So you shouldn't be doing a hide and seek. If nothing else, what if like their police training kicks out or takes over and they accidentally shoot somebody?
Like what ifs? We're gonna do what ifs with this.
This is not a good idea, is what I'm saying, man.
I think it's great because what happens if they're trying to find one of the kids and someone actually is getting mugged?
The chances of that happening are pretty slim, bud.
So what? Chances of the gun going off?
I don't know.
While playing tag.
Somebody gets
slim.
Gets a little too serious with it, and he's like, he didn't know that the kid
Tackles
was playing.
The kid?
Yeah, no, the opposite way. I don't know, man.
I think you're being a little too helicopter parent.
Well, it sounds like you are ready to sign up for hide and seek with an armed officer.
I would love to watch my kid in that. I would just be like, look at this. Let's see how good my kid is.
It says the event, which was first advertised on the Sherwood Police Department Facebook account on October 15th, says, quote, basically, this is your only chance to run from the cops without consequences. And they even got a nice little invitation, something that looks like it was built on Shutterfly.
So what's the winner?
The person who doesn't die. I don't know. I think it's just, again, a community building event with armed police officers.
Well, I mean, I think it's hilarious. Because you know that one kid who isn't playing, who's just like playing outside, like, we got you. I'm like, why are you accosting my child?
I don't know. This quote makes a lot of sense. It says, you didn't think about how traumatizing interactions with cops with guns have been, and yet you set this game up? You've actually tried to community outreach and sensitivity training? I don't think so.
Well, it's in the park. Oh my gosh, you're making this sound like it's like a citywide thing. It's in a park. It's an organized event.
Okay, we'll see how many kids they accidentally get popped in this.
It's already happened. We would have heard about it.
Well, that's true. This is the article before. Perhaps it's in Oregon. It's not local news.
Yeah, I think that'd be all over the news. Some kid got popped accidentally.
Again, I just think training's going to take over, man. They're going to take over. That's all.
Training?
Yes, the police officers training. They're hiding. They're seeking out.
They start
people
tasering?
Yeah, something. They can't resist. Some kid looks at him funny. He doesn't like the shirt he's wearing.
He thought he'd get away.
That's right. 40 monkeys escaped from Alpha Genesis Research Facility in South Carolina today.
Nice.
This is absolutely crazy, but dozens of monkeys are on the loose in South Carolina. Residents in Yamasee and surrounding areas have been, quote, strongly advised to secure all doors and windows to prevent the animals from entering their homes. Now, Has anyone stopped to think that these monkeys are just protesting the outcome of the election? Perhaps they were big monkeys for Kamala. You never know.
Yeah.
And they're upset of the results, and they've decided to go ape.
So did someone let them go?
It says they escaped, so I don't know if.
Well, how do 40
Well,
of
once the
them?
one guy finds the hole, hey, buddy, calling his monkey buddies over there.
Think so?
Oh, they're monkeys. They'll do all kinds of stuff. 40 monkeys escaped from the Alpha Genesis, a primate research facility. This is the type place that you visited when they were doing all the research on the monkeys.
Yeah, but they had like holes in their head.
Well, these could have some holes in their head as well. I mean, it's a research facility. It's not like it's a zoo. And if I said zoo, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I think someone let them go.
You think? Well, they're still out on the loose, man. Now, can you imagine if this had just happened like one day earlier during election day and they start terrorizing like the election lines, how the conspiracy theories would start?
Well, they already started.
What's your favorite one?
What's your favorite one?
I don't know.
I want to hear a conspiracy theory.
I haven't heard one yet.
From the election.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What conspiracy theory?
I don't know.
What's your favorite one? Since you brought it up, Slick.
All right. I would say, let me think.
The releasing of 40 monkeys right after to distract everybody, and they're going to go back and hang some chads. Or think about it this. Go back an even further week to Halloween, and these things got out on Halloween, and you had all these little monkeys terrorizing neighborhoods on Halloween, and you wouldn't know if it was an outfit, like a kid, or if it was an actual real monkey.
You'd probably tell it's a monkey, dude.
I don't know. Some of them outfits are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess.
It says traps have been set up around the area, and the police department is currently on site utilizing thermal imaging cameras in an attempt to locate the animals.
I like it.
Oh, this is great. Great. I found, this is a headline again, an audience of one headline. I found my roommate sleeping under my bed. Then he confessed why he's been there for months. You ever had a problematic roommate, Dick?
No.
Well, I think this absolutely fits the bill, but a petrified man whose name has been withheld, 24 years old, shared the terrifying tale of how he caught his roommate sleeping under his bed on Reddit. My roommate staring wide-eyed at me, and he screeched when I looked under the bed. I literally thought I was going to have a heart attack. Well, what this was is one of the roommates had quite an attraction with the other.
We've all been there before.
Yeah. He said he confessed he'd been sleeping under my bed a few nights a week, right next to all them dog cans that Freddie put under there.
What are we
for
talking
about 3 or 4 months, and that he was doing it, quote, to get closer to me psychically.
Yeah, I like it.
And he wants to psychically saturate one another. I don't even know what that means. This guy is out there.
Yeah.
It said the pair agreed to be roommates due to a happenstance, although I'm not sure what that means. But one of the guys, Carl, he's the hider, seemed to make more out of the friendship.
See, this gives me an idea of another. You know, we always try to play that game. I have a lot of money, so I make Andrew do stuff.
Oh yes, yeah. Uh-huh.
So this is what I would definitely do. I'd be like, hey, we're gonna open up the wanted ads and looking for a roommate. I'd be like, hey, I'll pay your rent. You gotta live with this guy, okay?
Under his bed.
And every week you'll get mail from a postcard mail, and you open it and you have to do what it says to your roommate. And so for every week you do it, you get $10,000.
This is brilliant.
And so one of them would be this: like you have to sleep under his bed.
This needs to be
every day
pitched
for the week
to Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
because he's got the funds to do it. And
That's
you know, there's
really
guys
funny.
who want to go viral. Will do
That's
it.
really funny. And like,
Want him to sleep under the guy's bed for 2 nights a week?
No, for the whole week. The whole week you have to stay. It's a week by week challenge, and it's like if you either don't do it and you're out, or the roommate leaves. So once the roommate leaves, then you can't get any more money. So the challenges are going to be something that's like, it's not enough to where like police will get involved, but it's enough to where it's going to annoy the crap out of your roommate. And I think it's going to be like, probably another one I would do is I give you for a whole week, every time you shower, you have to leave 100 ducks in the shower every single time. So like first time roommate will go in there, like, what is this? He cleans them up, and you can't clean them up. You have to leave them in there. And the next day you shower, you got to put 100 more in there. And then we'll provide the ducks.
Of course.
And so
no added charge.
Yeah.
To you.
Oh no. It's just I just want to see his reaction and be like, why do I keep finding 100 ducks in the bathroom?
I think you need to use this psychically saturating each other.
I do that now.
So when you're out on a date and this girl thinks you're getting a little too close, you're like, baby,
my feet are always pointed at you.
I'm just trying to saturate you.
My feet are always pointed at you. That's our psychic link to you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Your feet?
So when I'm doing this, I'm still pointing at you.
I'm uncomfortable knowing that now.
Just letting you know.
I don't like when you point your feet at me. Stop trying to
even when we're
psychically saturate me.
Yeah, it's like a compass I have. I'm like,
God, this took a weird turn.
well, they're cool weekly things.
Last story before the break. This is from Lewisville, Texas, which is up in North Texas near Dallas. More than a dozen of Lewisville police officers faced disciplinary action after an investigation found that they had acted inappropriately while trying to catch prostitution suspects at local massage parlors.
All right, more to the story.
There is more to the story. So basically what happens is when you're undercover and you're trying to bust somebody for prostitution, once the deal has been agreed upon, you're supposed to bust them right there.
Oh, he's trying to get a little...
But it sounded like once they agreed,
maybe
went a little handsy there.
Maybe the masseuse is really fast.
Well, this is 23 cases in which 32 criminal charges against 28 officers and at 10 different businesses. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. So that's
I was already there.
It's got to be really hard work though, being an undercover. I couldn't have a spouse doing that kind of work. Baby, I'm sorry. I just
I mean,
I had to. I'm doing it for the law.
Like this kind of stuff, that's just a sting operation.
It is.
If you're talking like the real undercover.
Yeah, where they got to do the drugs and get in and sleep with everybody.
I'll be all down for that.
Oh, yeah, I bet you would. But that's kind of crazy. Yeah, apparently I didn't know the rules on this, but some of these guys went a little too far with it. And no one's going to know. She's a prostitute anyways. She probably doesn't know the law. Get a little tug action before I put the cuffs on them.
Well, what's strange to me about that is that there's a good chance they're being recorded or some type of supervision happening during the sting.
You would think.
So it's like they're going to know. They're like, man, Charlie's been there for like 2 hours. Like,
she agreed in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, like, what is going on?
I just want to see that she's not really faking it, man. I want to call her bluff.
I don't know. That's kind of funny to me, though. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, it would be. All right, it's a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how to be more digitally safe on the Audience of One show.
Are you sad that the Panera Surge Lemonade is going away? No worries. The Audience of One show has you covered. Do you love shaky hands and heart palpitations with thoughts of running through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man? If so, then you are gonna love the new beverage from the Audience of One show. Introducing Geeked Soda. Geeked Soda is the most patriotic caffeinated soda on the market today, offering you over 1,500 milligrams of organically sourced, farm-to-table caffeine, milked directly from the finest of caffeine plants. Not woke, like the other energy beverages, drinking Geeked Soda is literally taking your life into your own hands. Consider this, the One Drink Challenge. Available in orange, grape, and fentanyl flavor, we got it all covered. Drink at your own risk. Available only at irlonestar.com/AOO.
Yo. Audience of One, we are back with part 2 of today's episode. This is, I believe, the first episode. No, it's not.
No, keep
November.
trying. Dates are always so... I even got you a calendar for your birthday last year.
And I sent a great picture of it.
Yes, you did. Still can't figure out the dates.
No, this week it's been weird. Like, you know, it's funny. When voting day happened, I didn't know it was on a Tuesday. I thought it was a Monday.
Okay.
So, like, the whole day Monday, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get home and check the election results.
Why does this not surprise me? This is like peak Schistler here.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm like...
Not even knowing when the election is.
And
Great.
I was like... And then someone goes...
It's funny, they're not even talking about it.
Yeah, it's weird. And then someone's like, oh, you're going to vote tomorrow. I'm like, why can't you vote tomorrow? Like, I thought it was today.
After the fact?
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
great.
You can do that? But, yeah, this whole week's been kind of weird. It's like, today it feels like it's a Wednesday for me. Not going to lie.
Okay.
It really feels like Wednesday. And I think it might be because a lot of our shows are pre-recording. It's Veterans Day next Monday. So a lot of our shows are like pre-recorded this whole week because they're either going to see their kid or something like that. So I think that's what it is. Because usually I see the same people every day, like on
certain
Tuesdays.
days, right?
But now I've already seen everybody, so I'm like, what do I do? But yeah.
Dick, when is the last time you ever did a cartwheel?
Shoot. I actually not too long ago. I want to say like a week ago.
Any particular reason?
Well, because remember last episode I told you that I went to that I volunteered at the dance thing, and
Yeah.
this woman, this wild.
Was it like an excited utterance? You just bust into a cartwheel?
Well, she was dancing, and she tried to do a cartwheel and did it really bad.
Oh no!
But she didn't care, and I was like, that was a terrible cartwheel. And then all of a sudden she went into the splits, and I was like.
Redeemed herself.
Oh, 100%. And I was like, why am I giving her a hard time about cartwheel? I don't think I can even do a cartwheel.
I feel like doing the
And so
splits,
I did one.
doing
And
the
so
splits at the end of anything kind of alleviates the fact that you did anything bad before. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
screw up, just go right into the splits. Everybody forgets about what you did
Hers
before.
was like even worse than a half-ass cartwheel. Mm-hmm. Like she literally, her feet probably didn't even leave her waistline. Like it.
yeah. So that's when you said, I gotta try.
I gotta
this.
try it, and I tried it, and I did all right.
You did okay.
Well, I talked to this girl. I was like, "Hey, watch me do this cartwheel real quick," and she goes, "What?" And I was like, "I just need you to make sure my feet are going up towards the sky.
Yeah.
That's all I care about."
Yeah.
And she thought I was a psychopath, and
I wonder why.
yeah, I wonder why. But yeah, that was a week ago.
But
Yeah,
thinking about things like cartwheels and things that you did when you were a kid,
yeah.
there was a time that you did, quote, outside of last week, your last cartwheel. But at the time, you didn't realize it was going to be your last cartwheel, right? But there was something in your mind that told you, even as a 8-year-old or whatever, this has probably got to stop. And you just don't ever do it again outside of last week. For me, though, I did happen to do this in my early to mid-30s for whatever reason. I think my kids were little, and we decided to do cartwheels, and we recorded it. And boy, I tell you what, I did not look like what I thought I was going to look like. And that's definitely
Well, that's
been
why
my
I had
last
that
cartwheel.
lady. That's why I had that lady watch me, because I was like, "Oh, I can feel like I'm doing it, but then like, am I really doing it?"
You never quite look like what you think you
No.
look like when you see yourself on video, doing a variety of things, I might add.
What was great about that is the lady was like, "Am I supposed to be impressed?" Like, "Oh no, this isn't about impressing you at all." I
Again,
just
do
need-
the splits afterwards.
I was like, I just need someone to make sure. I was like, you would call that a cartwheel.
yeah.
That's all I wanted. But no, I would say like as a child, it'd probably be certain toys, like playing with action figures.
And at some point, you played with your last action figure, but
Yeah.
at the time, you didn't realize it was going to be the last time ever. Kind of sad,
yeah,
huh?
Pee-wee ball. I remember that.
Pee-wee's balls?
Like
What?
Pee-wee, like baseball.
Oh, Pee-wee baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was actually one of the hardest things for me. Because like I really enjoyed playing organized sports until I got into high school. Because in my mind,
What changed?
Well, my thought
Because
was
you dominated back.
No.
You peaked at 12 is what happened.
because I had to stay at school. And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm not staying here any longer than I have to. Like, I remembered that. And
But what if World of Warcraft was an after-school event?
Well, if it was like in a dark room and a computer was on, game, because I can like block everything else. Because I remember like when tryouts were happening for basketball and stuff, I was like baseball. I was like, wait, we're gonna be here till 8 p.m. I'm like, what? No,
Not happening.
not happening.
Okay.
But then, then luckily,
I would like to see this card.
Luckily, I
released,
tore
though,
my
by the way.
ACL, so I didn't have to play any sports.
Yeah,
and then I got to
that
play
was it.
golf, and I played golf because only time to practice golf is in the morning, so I didn't have to go to school. I could literally go to the golf course with the teacher, and we golfed for half the day. It was great. I missed half a day of school.
Half the day? I don't think you're supposed to golf for half the day.
That's what I was doing.
That's what I was doing, right? Okay.
Well, you're trying to wrangle kid.
Look at you working all the angles.
Wrangle all these kids and stuff. So we had one teacher. So of course, if he's dragging 16 kids to play golf,
Okay.
I didn't ever get to drive the golf cart though.
No.
We had to
'cause you
walk. We walked.
Yeah, I was on the golf team in high school for a time
It was
period.
so much fun though. I
Had
loved
to walk
it.
everywhere.
I loved it, and the girls loved it. I made a lot
Oh
of
yeah, they
friends
love
that are
golf
girl.
dudes.
And well, these girls were just golfers. They were really good at golf. And yeah.
Imagine that.
My, you know what? A shout out to I guess my cousin's daughter. What would that be to me? Cousin's
daughter, that'd be your niece-in-law.
Neeson? No. Wait.
I don't know.
Anyway, she's like, I think she's a top 15 golfer.
Really?
For in high school. Yeah.
Nice.
In Texas.
That's
she's
impressive.
pretty. Well, it kind of helps when your dad was like a pro. So, or her grandfather was. So that kind of helps. Like,
Yeah, it does.
He's retired, so all he did was hang out with his granddaughter, but they play golf. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dick, have you
I'm
ever?
trying to think of other things,
Okay. Other things, what?
like the last stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What about those real memorable moments where like you're moving out of the house?
Okay.
Like you've probably moved at least once in your life. You had
sure.
like the last day, like everything's empty, and you're like, oh, the memories.
You have to
Same
go in
thing
and say
with
goodbye to
school.
the house.
Same thing with
Bye,
school.
house.
It's like the last week of school.
Remember when I got really drunk and threw up in the corner over there? Sorry about that.
'Cause-
Bye, bathroom. I remember missing the toilet that one night. Bye, closet.
Yeah.
Never
I
mind.
don't know what kind of house you're living in. Because I remember, like, and especially in elementary school and middle school, like, you get those cool teachers. And then you find out, oh, you don't get to keep them.
Like, take them home?
No, like, next year you're not going with them anymore. And I remember, like, those were the depressing weeks. Because, like, now I'm going to get some joker. It's going to suck.
And she was probably excited, though, that you didn't have her again for a second year. Let's be honest.
I was really productive when she was around, if you know what I mean. But no, I'm trying to think of other things. You asked me a question, so now I'm thinking of it.
Yeah. I don't know, like maybe I'm trying to think of other things that just watching kids play is a trip, man. Because they'll jump off things and they don't think twice about it. And I'm like, oh, my knees hurt just watching. It's usually like jungle gyms. Like the last time I did monkey bars, I was probably 12. But you don't think about it at the time. That's going to be the last time you're ever going to do that.
I think I did it like 4 months ago.
Dude, the life you live.
Well, because
cartwheels and jungle
my
gyms.
niece wanted to go to the park, and I was like, all right, I'll take you. Yeah. And we get to the park, and no one's there. And they have parks are a lot cooler these days, by the way.
You're allowed back in the parks now?
Well, I mean, they didn't say age restriction on it, so bring it on.
I know there'd been, maybe the statute of limitations has passed on
There
you.
wasn't a school around.
Right.
No,
I just didn't know.
Because they had this cool monkey bar system where like you go up on an incline, and at the end of the monkey bar, you grab this deal, and it shoots you down like I don't know what they call it, zip line.
Zip line, yeah.
And then it would automatically go back up.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, what is that? What's that all about?
What is that sorcery all about?
Yeah. It was cool. But you had, I think they did it that way. That way you couldn't reverse it up.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to actually climb the monkey bars to achieve the zip line.
Get some exercise, kid. Touch some grass.
And what's weird, though, when I took my niece, she didn't want to do any of that stuff.
No? She just wanted to play on her phone.
She played on her dirt and stuff like that.
Oh, dirt is cool.
It was weird. I was like, you have this cool slide. Let's go up there. I don't really want to. I'm like, why are we here then?
But look at this grub.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, why are we here if we're not going to be like climbing this stuff?
We could have just dug in the grass at the house.
I will say those slides are built for small people because they're not fun anymore.
Yeah, they're called children. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I like larger slides.
Okay. You're an interesting person.
Have you ever been to a park where clearly the park was like 50 years old?
Oh, sure,
and
absolutely.
Not safe
all
at
the
all.
slides are like completely metal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
those are the best.
With sharp edges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In the summertime, you third-degree burn going down the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever look up parks from around the world?
No, it's not a search. I search. Did Joe Biden drop out of the race? That's what I was Googling this year. Or this week, sorry.
Dude, there's like, what's on the word for a park? Like a kid's park?
Playground? Play set?
Yeah, let me show
Oh my gosh, on the fly show.
No, you're gonna love this.
Okay.
Dude, like in Russia, it is nuts.
Don't tell me what to do.
Let's see.
Oh, anything in Russia's nuts, man. Just look up like motorcycles in Russia and they'll be whacked out half pickup truck from 1972 in the front of like a Buick. It's crazy.
Let's see. Hold on.
Oh no.
Let's see if this is more because like the toys they would have were insane. Let's see.
This is what I get for trying to plan out a show.
So they have normal swings.
Yeah, it looks pretty normal to me, dude.
But then there's like other. Oh, hold on.
Well, moving on, I was going to ask you.
I want to find it.
Have you ever meal planned? And I'm guessing the answer here is probably no.
Yeah.
You don't seem like the type of guy who plans out your meals.
In college, I did.
Yeah. I know it's probably something that I've tried to do at different parts of my life because, one, it's probably less expensive to do that, right, than going out to eat.
Like, for example,
and if you're trying to eat healthy.
I made like a big old pot of Alfredo sausage, and I've been eating that for like the last 4 days.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm getting at. So,
but I wouldn't really call it healthy. Like, it's definitely not healthy, but it's so good.
Well, I guess it depends on what you're making. There's different reasons
I went
for
to that place, and they had an Alfredo pork sausage, and I was like, you know what? I want to make Alfredo tonight with this.
I don't know. I just figured like by the time if I plan on my meals on Sunday, by the time I get to middle of the week Wednesday, I'm thinking to myself like, why did I think I was going to want baked fish today for the third time? It's always the worst. So I end up not meal planning.
That's disgusting.
Didn't know if that was something you did or not. Baked fish, meal planning. You're still looking that thing up, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, from Lottery USA, I don't know if you've heard this story, but a $95 million Texas lottery jackpot was won in 2023, and now an investigation determined 3 Europeans have been linked to the winning ticket. This is nuts, man. So I guess back in April 2023, there was a ticket that was sold that won, and it was claimed, or at the time, that it was won by a single person. But as it turns out, this was an overseas company. It was a New Jersey-based company named Rook TXLP in Scotch Plains. And they decided to get their one lump sum payment, which is what you should do. So they received $57.8 million. But what's wild about this is they bought collectively $23 million worth of tickets. Can you imagine being behind that guy in line? Oh, my God. But I think what you can do now is you can buy tickets online. And I'm sure they probably got some computer algorithm in there to get just about every possible
Didn't they make a movie about that?
Yeah, I sounds like something a movie would be
No,
made out of.
It had that Breaking Bad guy in it. It was like a parent.
Cranston?
Yeah, it was made for made for streaming. I forgot what. Yeah, because he gamed the system.
Yeah, I guess if you've got enough money, you can get just about every possibility out there, so you know you're going to win something. And I'm trying to see in this story. It's quite a lengthy story.
It's called Jerry and Marge Go Large.
They claimed 289 winning tickets, matching 5 of the 6 winning numbers. So they made out with, I guess if it was $95 million, they spent $23 million. You do the quick math. They walked off with a bunch. Well, it said $58 million earlier. That's insane, man. But I think the rules were changed after COVID because they didn't want people having to come into the store to buy tickets, but they still wanted you to gamble so you could do it online. I guess they went, Now's our chance to write this program. It's probably already written. And won. I think it's something you and I need to do.
I'm still
Get your
kind of
brother on. Isn't he like a computer guy?
I'm still amazed that people buy like scratch offs.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the art. It's the fun. Have you ever been behind the guy? It's funny because there's different types of people when they buy their lotto tickets. There's some people that get them, they meticulously like scratch them off real slow, and then there's some people who just run them, man. They don't even look at them. They just hand them right back to the person behind the counter. They just scan it. Yeah, that's when you have a problem. If you're not actually scratching the thing off, you may have an issue.
Yeah. I guess whatever.
I don't know, man. All right, as teased, being safe digitally. A digital condom has been created by a German company to prevent non-consensual content during sex from being recorded. Listen up, Dick, because I know this is something that you're probably going to find yourself in the situation of. There's people now who have devices that will cover up the phone so they can't be recorded without their consent. In the first of its kind app from Billy Boy, Innocent Berlin called the CamDum can block mobile devices and is an easy way to use is as easy to use as a regular condom. So users place their smartphones close to each other and swipe down a virtual button to block all cameras and microphones before intercourse.
Wait, what?
Oh my God. You're still over there looking up medieval playgrounds or something in Russia.
There's a video of it. I want to where's the video?
So apparently this is a problem. When youngsters are having relations, one will decide to record the situation without the other's consent. And what this app allows you to do is say, hey, dude, I know we're about to get it on, but let's use the CamDum. CamDum. CamDom. Put their phones together. It disables all communication while you're engaging in your Jadestone activities.
So when you're done, you both have to say at the same time, off condom.
I mean, ideally at the same time, but, sometimes it doesn't happen that way, Dave.
Like, what happens if you cut loose because you're like, oh, I got to get out of here, and you forgot to turn it off?
I imagine there's an override button at that point, right? But if you're running out, then the person doesn't care if they turn it back on or not.
Why don't you just turn off the phone?
This is for... You're missing the point here, Dick.
No, I'm not. I'm looking
You might turn your phone off, but the other person might not turn theirs off. So this is to ensure, hey, look.
I'm watching
I know it's
the
not going to
video.
work.
I'm watching the video. Again, you just turn off the phone.
Is this NSFW here? You're watching a video.
No, it's
of the camdom.
Yeah, it's their video. It's their marketing video. That's stupid.
Yeah, well, it is interesting because, again...
I think I'm going to do it to you.
Just turn off people's devices?
I think I should have that in the studio as a rule. Because everyone forgets to turn off their freaking phones.
Well, you're on your phone half the time in the studio.
Well, people are texting me. Like right now, I'm... Okay, oh yeah. This is going to be a good one.
I need to put up... That's what we need. We need a camdom for your phone during this show as well.
I thought it was a... Voting
vote for
spam.
Kamala. Again, it's over.
But this
dude.
is
It's
legendary DJ and producer ATB is stepping into the concourse. What the hell's the concourse? Like,
I know you're sad because you had your radio hosts for Kamala shirt on yesterday and it didn't work out for you.
no,
Anyways,
no,
I thought
actually,
you'd be a little more interested in the camdom.
Well, I am, but I still don't understand why you just turn off the phone. Jeez. Like you turn off their phone.
So you're saying this isn't a problem? So are you victim blaming all these people that have had revenge porn made from their intercourse?
Well, I'll be like, if you're gonna go
with a trusting partner,
all the way, sign an NDA. Go all the way. If you're already
it's so romantic.
If we're doing, yeah, this is romantic. Let's put our phones together. Make sure we download this app.
Well, this says 1 in 14 adults in England and Wales have experienced threats to shame their intimate images without their consents. But this application would eliminate that, Dick.
I'd rather have an app that just deletes all of the photos off my phone. But, like, Apple makes it impossible to delete all of them at the same time. You have to, like...
Yeah, there's got to be an app that'll do, like, facial recognition. Say you broke up with your chick and you don't want anything on your phone of her anymore.
Well, no,
you can submit a picture.
This happened
says
to me.
recognize every picture that has this face in it and delete it from my cloud and my phone.
This happened to me. I had an inappropriate picture of a person.
No way.
That was sent to me. And what I didn't realize is it saves it. So when, down some time has gone by, another person who I was talking to had my phone, and they were just looking at my photos, and they're like, what is this?
Oh, I think you know exactly what that is.
And I was like,
this is an anatomy lesson.
Yeah, and I go, well, what were you talking about? And she shows me, and I go, yeah, that's the naked lady. And she's like, what's this doing on your phone? I'm like,
because I took it with the phone.
That was a long time ago. She's like, yeah, it says it was like a year and a half ago. I'm like, yeah. It's like, you didn't delete it? Look at all the other photos on there.
It's called material. That's what you need to tell her.
Well, no, it's like if you look, I go, it wasn't like a secret folder. It's like, look where it is. It's like, I have all these photos. I take photos of everything.
Clearly.
So I was like, what do you think? You think I'm trying to hide it?
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
It's
phone. Right there. And man,
geez.
I love that. And then the gaslighting word comes out, and I'm like, what's this gaslighting? God, this gaslighting word is just, you know what? I just need to pay for it. I need to talk to those cops.
Like, gonna say, we've come full circle.
Yeah, where did y'all get in trouble? I'll take care of that area of my life. And then, would that be a great thing if some guy or girl said that to you?
Probably not. No.
It's like, hey, are you dating anybody? No, I just do prostitutes.
Probably not a good way to influence people.
I think it's pretty great.
In a positive way.
I think it's pretty great.
A Colorado Springs tattoo shop puts mural with genitalia on their roof over an apartment building because they were towing their clients' cars.
What?
This is amazing. So there's a tattoo shop that shares a parking lot with an apartment building.
Oh, and the apartment building.
And the apartment building was towing the people because they were parking in there. So to get back at them, because this is like a multi-story apartment dwelling, and the tattoo shop is a single story, they painted a bunch of male genitals on top of their roof to get back at the apartment complex.
Let's see how good they look. I'm going to see how good they look.
Yeah, how accurate is it?
No, that looks too creative.
Well, it does almost look like normal.
Because they have like bicycles. It's like a little
it's not just a picture of, just genitals. It's mixed in tastefully with other items.
That's pretty funny.
The owners of one Colorado Springs tattoo shop say the mural on the roof of their business, featuring numerous images of genitalia, is their frustrated response to a next-door apartment building towing their clients' vehicles. The roof of the dispute between the 532 Co-Apartments and Fallen Heroes Tattoo Shop. How dare they fight with a place called Fallen Tattoos Hero Shop?
This reminds me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you that. I encountered this thing today.
Okay.
I went to a business, and that business's parking lot is shared with like a Sonic. And I'm not talking like a Sonic Drive-In parking lot. I'm talking like the Sonic Drive-In's there, and then there's like a walkway and an empty lot, and then a parking lot. Well, I pull up into the parking lot, and there's like 5 signs that say Sonic employees only, but it's like scattered. Mm-hmm. And I was confused because I was like, are they saying this whole parking lot is for Sonic employees, or just those specific spots where the signs are?
Seems like where the signs are. That's what I would interpret it as.
But they're like, it's too random. Because it wasn't like one solid line.
Yeah, you would assume that'd make more sense.
Yeah, you think they like, oh, we get the left side of the parking lot, and then you can do this. But they were like, every other one had one, and on the other side, like 1 or 2 had one. And I go, that's so weird to me. So when I park, I go to the place, and I'm like, hey, can I park there? And they're like, well, did you see a sign? I'm like, yeah, I saw a sign. Well, did you park at one? I'm like, yeah. I was like, but I feel like you could still tow me because it says employees only. It's weird.
It is weird.
So
I think you need to get to the bottom of it.
I need to put penises somewhere.
That's always the idea for a lot of things. Well, this is a funny story. We've talked about animals getting into things, trash cans, into beer, and getting drunk. Apparently, drunk animals are a lot more common than we think. Naturally fermented fruits can reach 1 to 2% alcohol by volume, less than a light beer.
Is that what's going on with the monkeys?
I was going to connect those two. I wonder if the monkeys in that, I guess it wasn't a zoo. What was it? A psychiatric ward of some sort, a research facility, had some fermenting fruit. Well, it says wildlife behaving like drunk humans after eating fermented fruits is generally considered an anecdotal rare occurrence, and it is not well documented in accurate literature. However,
have you ever seen a drunk pig?
I don't believe that I have.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
I take it you're going to find one for me, though, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a great video.
But this whole thing is about not only do animals find fermented fruits, that sometimes these things can be upwards of 10% ABV. Oh, yeah. They're seeking it out on purpose to get drunk.
Here it comes. I gotta get the intoxicated pig.
Who's intoxicated? Hope there's no language.
Look where I pulled that.
Oh.
Mash it right there.
This pig is passed out.
Watch this.
Hey.
Onesies, if you're just on podcast, we're seeing a
you can hear him.
belly up
Never
pig.
Seen a damn pig.
Who appears to have drunk quite a bit of
mash.
That there's fine.
This one could not hold its liquor.
Belly up. Hey, you. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa! There it was. Check the time. Check the time.
Yeah, we're good. I didn't hear it.
I certainly did.
It still goes.
It says, quote, we're moving away from this anthropocentric view that ethanol is just something that humans use.
Look how big that belly is, dude. Look how big that belly. Oh, here we go.
But apparently it's much more abundant in the natural world than we previously thought, and most animals that eat sugary fruits are going to be exposed to some level of ethanol.
Home. There's Andrew trying to walk right here.
Oh,
Look how big that belly is today, dude.
It says usually fermented fruits only reach 1 to 2% alcohol by volume. However, concentrations as high as 10.2% ABV have been found in over ripe palm fruits in Panama.
Now, see, so this article's stupid to me.
What article isn't stupid to you?
Because I want to have the article where they find like the magic mushrooms.
I'm sure they've done. I'll look for some of that next week.
That's more exciting because you're like fermented peaches. Like, what are the odds? The mushrooms I get because like it's everywhere, and it's like, oh, I'm eating that, and then
Well, it says from an ecological perspective, it's not as advantageous to be inebriated as you're climbing around in trees or surrounded by predators at night. So in other words, they're saying this probably isn't something that they need to do for their own protection and safety, but they kind of get it on anyways, right? It's like the nightclub.
Or do they actually go out and search for this food?
That's what it's saying, Dick, yes, that they actually will go out seeking out some of these fruits because they know they're going to get a little buzz.
And they're monkeys, too.
Well, it's all kinds of animals, but they do specifically say monkeys in this as well.
Clearly, it's pigs.
I wonder if they're macaques.
Because they'll eat anything.
Yeah. You always got to worry about the macaque, you know? That one is it's a dangerous monkey. You don't want that one to get out.
I thought you were talking about my nickname.
Do you remember the story that we had of the Utah man that fled overseas and changed his name to Arthur Knight? And Yeah, remember that guy? Well, I have an update on him.
Yeah?
Yes, a man charged with 2 rapes in Utah and who lived under a series of names in the United Kingdom and allegedly faked his own death, said on Wednesday that he changed his name because of threats made against his life. Oh, so he was faking it the whole time. Shucks. It was such a realistic British accent that Arthur Knight. Well, his real name, of course, is Nicholas Rossi, and he testified that after moving to Europe in 2017, he learned in 2020 through contacts he had made while working in whatever. He's claiming now he was forced to move because he had all these threats against his life. This is a bad dude who's accused of a lot of bad things, and it looks like it's finally catching up with him. So just let that be a lesson to you, Dick.
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson.
Every day you can start over.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. How much time we got left, Dick? What are we doing on the time?
Couple seconds.
Couple seconds.
I would do the last hit.
You know what? Let's do the quick hit here at the end of the show. Are you familiar with who Margaret Eloise Knight is?
No. I'm going to look her up.
She was an American inventor, notably of machine to produce flat-bottom papered bags.
Oh, cool.
She was the woman who invented the flat-bottom paper sack. And I'm thinking, what did people do before? I guess you just had to, balance them.
Yeah, you had the potato sacks.
That's terrible. Well, she said, I've got a solution to this. Flat bottoms, go figure. She has been called, quote, the most famous 19th century woman inventor. And you didn't know who she was, Dick. You didn't even know.
Yeah, I don't even know when the 19th century is. What is that, the 1900s or 1800s?
She founded the Eastern... that's the 1900s. But
No, it's always...
sorry.
It's always the year before, right?
Yes, the 20th century.
Is really the 1900s to 20.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. That's so stupid.
So 19th century would be the 1800s, yes. Yeah. She founded the Eastern Paper Bag Company in 1870, creating paper bags for groceries similar to the ones you would find in stores that we use today. So Margaret Eloise Knight, you are our audience of one onesie of the week.
Is that where they say that you got to put a paper bag over her head? I was waiting for you to get that.
You can thank her for that invention.
Yeah. Well, it says it's empowering women.
That she is. I apologize for this entire show.
That was a good one. Come on. You had a brain fart of that one to your face. Looked, you're like, what are you talking? Oh, my gosh.
Do you need a flat bottom for that, though? I think you can just use a regular seam, and if you're going to put it over someone's head, I would think.
Well, if you read this article, it keeps talking about women empowerment. I'm like, we're talking about a paper bag here, guys. I get it, but it's we're talking about a paper bag.
Thank you, onesies, for joining us on our madness.
You think that's what we'd be proud of?
Hey, if it's helping, you know what? It helps out both parties in that situation.
What
right?
did men invent? Oh, electricity.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What do women invent? Oh, paper bag.
Flat bottom paper bags.
Now, there's got to be a better one. No, I think it's really interesting because that really probably did change a lot.
For sure.
Because did you grow up in a household that kept all that crap?
Of course. Paper sacks, plastic bags.
100%.
Of course. They're always good for something, including wrapping your school books up in them, which my mom was very good at doing.
Oh, yes. And that's an art.
Lasted all year.
That's an art.
It absolutely is.
One thing I love...
Wouldn't be possible without Mary Louise Knight, though.
When, Whataburger and those kind of places have, the large sacks. Mm-hmm. When you get more than, 3 items, they give you the large one.
Got a large sack, do you? Okay.
And you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was a coveted thing. My mom always wanted one of those.
Yeah.
If we went to go get food, she's like, make sure you get one of those big bags. And I'm like, what do you do with these? Groceries.
Yeah.
When I put the groceries in, that she uses.
There you go. So. There you go. Awesome, onesies. Thank you for your time and attention this week.
I'll ask her about the paper bag over the head joke. Let's see if she'll have a good one with that one. God.
We will see you next week.
And don't forget, we're here every Friday at 10 a.m.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Lone Star Community Radio. We are a nonprofit radio station that hosts Audience of One. You can always donate and support this show. Visit irlonestar.com/. And then if you have a cool article and things like that, we'd love to hear back from you, from listener feedback. audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. That's audienceofoneshow.
Or any additional information on when you can stop and start touching a prostitute before it's against the law. Dick really wants some more information on that.
No, I don't.
Okay, sorry.
I know when I need to stop. I think my body kind of
stop anytime I want, bro.
I think my body tells me when I need to stop. We'll see you guys later.
Next week.